Hello there, and welcome to the 19th episode of Creating Heads in Fusion 360. I hope you've had a good week. Let's begin. In the past, I've always mirrored the features left to right or right to left. So when the model is completed, the face is similar to their real face except it's one side duplicated. I've done this on the 4 head models I've made in my life previous to this one. This time I want to try and create the face without the normal symmetry. So in a moment, you'll see me turn off the symmetry. And FYI, what a massive error. I'll explain my motive for doing this as simply as possible. Essentially, I need some level of challenge and learning to take place while I'm working for a project to feel worthwhile. Like I said moments ago, my past head models have been symmetric, and this was done because creating any sort of facial feature felt like an achievement. However, I was always acutely aware of how faces are rarely, if not at all, symmetrical. So my intention was to turn off the symmetry as early as possible in the process of creating this head. Hence I would be able to capture a better likeness to the model, in theory. Although what I found was that there were still a lot of features that needed to be modelled symmetrically, hence my needless endeavour wasted a considerable amount of time. And here I am turning off the symmetry using the Clear Symmetry tool. It's such an error I made turning off the symmetry this early that I believe I might have reverted to the save point in my design process later on. I can't say with certainty though. In total, during this design process I reverted back to earlier saves twice, so until we reach the 3rd iteration of the design, take my advice with a pinch of salt. Now, modelling without symmetry, I'm taking care to adjust features all across the face in small incremental amounts, so as to not inordinately disrupt the model at any one time. As I've previously mentioned in an earlier episode, Fusion has a tendency to mirror your canvas images. In my case, I forgot that it did this, thus I'm modelling the image the wrong way around from a front-on perspective, but because I was smart enough to label the right and left canvas images correctly, it means that flipping the symmetry of the model later on won't help. An absolute masterstroke from me. In contrast to what I said earlier this episode, turning off the symmetry wasn't an absolute disaster. Certainly for this model it is, but as an opportunity to learn, and I like to think I learn from my mistakes, it's a lesson. Broadly put, I know now that at least several hours of solid modelling with a fully connected face should take place before the symmetry is switched off, and in this window of time all features should be focused on somewhat, even ones that in the past I've completely underestimated their impact on the model, such as the forehead and the top of the head. When the symmetry is eventually turned off, the list of facial features that will need adjustment is an extensive list. But you'll find that the jawline and the eye placements are the most obvious differences, so set them in the right position before moving on. The biggest lesson from turning off the symmetry at this point in time is the skill it has given me in modelling, and that isn't something easily put into words. It's like understanding tension. Like if you pulled on a spider's web, you would know how the rest of it would move before you touched it. That's what it feels like. You know the game by now. We are pacing through the footage at 400% speed, and as usual, if there are any details that might need a bit more explaining, just chuck them in the comment section. This is the part where you're on your own. Don't pay attention to what I'm doing. Try and see what my eventual goal is. If you follow step by step, move by move, you won't learn a thing. So experiment. I found from experimenting that I have a tendency to over protrude the cheeks. But because I know that I do this, as I've created more models, they protrude less and less. And you might want to hear from me that I know what I'm doing. The truth is I'm no sculptor. I know how the tools work to create certain shapes, but there is a definite sense of trial and error with what I do. Take for example the nose. It's a feature that when you get it right, it sort of brings the whole face together. That and an accurate jawline. Do I know how to take the nose in front of me and match it to the man I know? Absolutely not. Do I know the mindset I need to be in to model well? Yes, I think so, probably. You need to be in a tolerant frame of mind. A frame of mind where you can be honest with yourself and your work. A frame of mind where you can destroy hours of work at a moment's notice, because that will happen regularly. It started out as a frustrating experience for me to delete hours of work. Well, actually, I do save the work, but I don't return to it, so it might as well be deleting. Anyway, it started out as frustrating because I felt like I'd wasted my time. What you need to realize is that that is the moment that you're learning something new. When you realize the changes you've made haven't improved your model. So why not carry on and continue modeling the nose on the same path? You'll never get there. Every time you make a change to a feature, such as the nose, and it makes a positive difference to the model, save it and let that be your new starting point. If you continue to model without regular checkpoints, you will fail. It's as simple as that. I can model a nose quite well because I have the patience to model it wrong 10 times. So notice here, I'm actually grabbing symmetrical patterns. So like I said before, it was a bit redundant turning off the symmetry, because what I'm doing is I'm selecting points on both sides to try and match them up. So like there, I've just moved the left one and then the right one, the right section. It's yeah, it's a bit pointless. But it is looking better. I mean, like I said as well earlier, the parts that I tend to, I don't know, focus on less are the forehead and the top of the head, and I wish that I focused on them more. Yeah. Oh, sorry about this. I typed these messages as something to write in like my script, but I thought it would be easier just written down. I'm hoping that's clear and visible to see. But essentially, talking about how the different changes can alter the emotion of the face. So there it looks like he's got something in his mouth or something, as opposed to you might be wanting to make him, I don't know, a little fatter, a little angrier. But yeah, if you do it wrong, it can just like look like they're eating. The rest of this video is at 600% speed because, like I said, it's time for you to figure it out. Don't worry though, I will continue to upload. That's not me saying that I'm gonna stop posting videos altogether. That's not the case at all. But practice as much as you can and have fun. And if you encounter any issues, or I don't know, you wanted a specific explanation of how to do a certain bit, because of course I'm going to cover the ears and the hair, and I'm going to continue to post all the footage, so you will still be able to see what I'm doing. But I'm just saying this is a point where look at what I'm doing, try and understand what my goal is in my head, try and understand what I'm trying to achieve, rather than copying move for move, because yours won't match up unless you can move exactly the same amount with your adjustments. Yours will start to differ. I mean, you might have been working off a different model from the start. I've put the canvas images, I've attached them, well, I've got them on my website, but I've attached a link in the first few episodes for if you did want to follow along. But this is the point where you should, I don't know, try and experiment a bit. See how different features might make them look angry or happy, or maybe push the jawline out, or I don't know, just experiment. You know, I always add the ears on as a separate surface model, but perhaps if you wanted, you could just try modeling the ears into the model. Experiment with that. That's how you improve, really. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I would love to hear how people are getting on with it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching, and also check out Joyous 3D if you have the time. Bye.